So I'm very lucky today. I have Steph Holland, and Steph is from David Lloyd, and our title now is Director of Spa New Concepts. Actually, you're just like Director of everything, I think.
All the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff. Creating all the spas, the development of all the spa gardens across the David Lloyd estate. Are you up to 135 clubs in total?
Yeah, we are about 135 to this day, possibly more in the next coming months. And of that amount of clubs, we're up to about 50 spa products within there, so spa and spa garden.
Yeah.
So really expanding quickly.
Really expanding. I'm glad. I like to hang out there most days. It's very nice.
We like to have you.
Yeah, it's fun. And then we have Joie Risk. And Joie is the Managing Director of Sunlighten infrared saunas. And full disclosure, we all know, I think now, that I have one in my living room. And it's my favourite thing to do before bed with my kids. We sit in the infrared sauna, the sounds of the sea, do some meditation and deep breathing. He's 10, and I'm trying to get him into wellness and relaxation and part of his nighttime routine. Who needs a living room anyway, right? You don't need it. It's overutilised. You don't need it. But Joie brought Sunlighten to the UK about 5 years ago.
6 years ago.
6 years ago now. And the market is absolutely booming and growing from consumer, but also now to bespoke, to corporate, to custom. It did help when Ronaldo bought a sauna. Just saying, if anyone hasn't seen pictures of Ronaldo in the Sunlighten sauna, you should check that image out online. Hashtag. And then I have Michaela Hurst. Michaela used to be with Soho House when we first met, and has now just started a phenomenal job. I think it's brilliant, with a link to Fulham Football Club. But it's Fulham Pier.
I know nothing about football.
That's
so
alright.
No questions on that, please.
Me neither. I'm like, what is that? I don't know. There's some World Cup happening soon as well. Like, Scotland's in the World Cup this year, though.
Thanks.
Unfortunately, it's in America, so like, who's going to go there? But anyway, and the Fulham Pier development, spectacular. Building 4 floors of wellness and looking at the whole concept of a place to belong, a place to be, a place to work, a place to socialise, a place to eat. So that development that Michaela's in charge of building and creating pretty much from scratch, empty place to go there, you've got your work cut out, and you need it done in 2 weeks or something, right?
I've been there 7 weeks. I've got on board a team of around 30 in a matter of 8 weeks. So if anyone would like a job, please do let me know.
Yeah. Anyone needs a job, got something to sell, that maybe take some of the kit. So it's available. It's available
Some
and
things
it's
will
ready.
start to go missing today.
Yeah, we don't need 12 weeks lead time. We're going to be a problem. So really, what we're going to do is just share some information from different experience, from a different angle within the sectors of what we're seeing as the trends, what we're seeing from the consumers. What do you do when you've got a blank canvas to make it something that's going to stand the test of time? I was actually very interested when the spa gardens were built. Like, how are you going to make this last for the next 5 to 10 years? What are you going to do with this? And what's the trends within the demand for infrared? How detailed are the consumers actually asking about the product? And then if you've got 4 floors to build, what are you going to put in there? Or maybe even what are you going to avoid? So I'll just pass back to Steph to give you a teeny little brief history of her background and where we first met 25 years ago, maybe even as well.
Oh yes, that's a fun story. So Jaclyn and I, we reconnected a few years ago, but we met how many years? We don't want to give away how many years.
25 plus.
25 years, we'll say the 25, not the plus. Where I started my career on cruise ships actually, and Jaclyn was one of the was the trainer who trained all of us before we went on board as managers or as even team members in sales and guest service training, and that's pretty much where my career began, and I still use that training to this day, I must say. So yeah, I started out as a fitness instructor on a cruise ship. I was just going to do that for a little bit of a gap year, and really loved it. My career went in that direction, became spa director on board, and stayed sailing the seas, as you do, for 4 years, but I've never been back. That's the difference. I need to do that. And from there, the owner company, Steiner, now One Spa World, promoted me to a landside job. So I lived in the States for a while and worked in the land spas before moving back to the UK. To cut a long story short, spa director at the Pier Resort in Knutsford and leisure director, and then on to David Lloyd, which has just been a journey. I've been there for about 8 years now. I did start as a general manager, shortly moved into head of spa, and then creative director, and now overall concept design and wellness for the company. So UK and Europe. It's very exciting. There's always something going on. Yeah, it's wonderful, very lucky. My colleague Stu is here, very tall at the back. He also works for the company, so yeah, ask him questions. If I don't know the answer to any questions, that's why
we brought him, right? Thanks, Steph. Joie.
Hi everyone, I'm Joie. I'm Managing Director for Sunlighten in UK and Europe. As Jaclyn said, I brought the brand out 6 years ago, and actually Jaclyn and I met a couple of PerformX ago.
3 years ago.
And strangely, she had trained many years back my employee number one on the ground here in the UK, who is one of our highest revenue generating sales reps, Praveen. And Jaclyn, unbeknownst to me, had trained her all those years ago. So it was a really nice connection, and we've been very close ever since. So yeah, I'm known for introducing Cristiano Ronaldo to infrared, which is really fun.
Cool. Yeah, hang on. Yeah, that eugenics right. That's like a clap, right? That is a clap.
And actually, his club over in Saudi Arabia were actually very forward thinking, and we rolled out custom saunas only about 4 years ago, and they're one of the first adopters to have infrared at this level. And so we're famous for being global leaders in infrared for the last 25 years, originally founded in the States. We're the only brand that has the world's only smart sauna, and we're known for having the highest level of emissivity in the market, so the highest quality and quantity of infrared. So yeah, since we've launched, sales have grown about 400% since launch, and we work across fitness, spa, integrative health clinics. So we work with Space, and we're going into Fulham Pier, and we work with various athletes and clubs. So yeah,
it's brilliant. Thank you, Joie. Michaela.
I feel like we're all talking about how we know you.
I know, we should just get some wine. Order some side dishes.
So I'll jump on the bandwagon. We met when I was actually with Soho House. So I've been in the industry for around 15 years plus now. My legacy, I suppose, was Soho House, where I was there for 10 years. And my last role there was heading up the UK for spa and wellness. So I overlooked the spas and the gyms, opened up new openings like Brighton Beach House Gym, which was gorgeous. And my last project that I handed over was the 180 Health Club Gym, which is a stunning space. After that, I then left and went into more 5-star luxury. I'm not saying that Soho House isn't 5-star luxury, but that was a bit more cool, vibey, it was trendy, and then moved into the Maybourne Group. The Maybourne Group is traditionally known for your Connaughts, your Claridges, the Barclay, and they've got Riviera in south of France. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to hop over there. But I was at the Emery for a year, where I headed up Seren, which won for the second year in a row World's Best Private Members Club globally, which was incredible. For that, it was the most luxurious spa I've ever been to. If anyone can go in there, even though it's a private members club, I definitely encourage you to do so. But I left there, and where I am at Fulham, I said when I was doing my interview, I want the love child of the two. I want the sexiness of Soho, but I want the 5-star luxury and the standards of Maybourne. And I'm hoping that's what's going to happen at Fulham Pier. Fulham Pier is an incredible development that's been under development for many years, and the spa is now the missing piece of the puzzle. So it's got 3 floors of members club called the Lighthouse Social. It has a beautiful boutique-style hotel as well, across 13 different rooms. And then the wellness club is essentially going to be across 4 floors. Planned opening date for April 10th, wish me luck.
Have you just invited everyone?
Sure.
April 10th?
I will be doing hard hat tours. But yeah, definitely keep your eye out for it, 'cause it's something I'm really, really excited by.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and as you say, the mix from the cool, trendy Soho House vibe, and then that really elevated service. Can I ask how much the membership was at the Emery? Are you allowed to say?
At the Emery, it was £10,000 a year.
For the gym membership. What was the 3 pieces of kit? No, I'm exaggerating. It was really nice. It was gorgeous.
10,000 a year and then £5,000 joining fee. So yeah, quite hefty. Fulham Pier won't be that extensive. There'll be different tiers, but maybe going up to the £10,000 mark, but completely different demographic.
Yeah. So I think my goal would not only just to invite all my friends to come and hang out, but more to look at different operator models and how we can learn from them. What are they doing? And of course we're charging very different price points, but what can we do from that environment that will help us within fitness, within gym, within hospitality? What learnings, what trends, what can we see? What's their consumer, and what are they willing to pay for the best? And why is the attention to detail so strong? And that's the part I've really noticed. So I'll go back to Steph, and my first question to Steph is, you don't just design spas, right? You know, you're designing a much bigger recovery ecosystem. What was the kind of deeper vision behind that? And I know you've done some information on LinkedIn about the dwell time even increasing within just the spa. So I think I'm quite keen to hear about what was it that was behind that, the vision behind the spa design element.
So the early vision was we realised that wellness and obviously longevity was becoming quite a big thing across the world really, and our amazing chairman Glenn said to me, you know, we need to develop a spa concept. We need to what we currently have at the moment, Steph, is sort of leisure centre type spa areas, just slightly off the pool side, maybe just a standard sauna, a steam room, whirlpool. There was no real identity to it. A little bit similar to what Michaela was saying, my background had been so much luxury spa that it was, can we bring a luxury spa within a health club environment? Can we do that? Is it the same psychographic that use a health club as it is a spa? Because it didn't really used to be. So actually we set to work to increase dwell time, as Jaclyn said, which we did. You know, we've increased our dwell time by about 40 minutes by doing so. We also increased drive time, because obviously people come a greater distance. And usage occasion was one of the main KPIs. We wanted people to come in and use us in a different way. What we stumbled upon by accident, I don't mind saying, is the whole recovery side. Because what we were looking to achieve was a relaxation side of the journey. We were trying to piece together the jigsaw of overall wellness with fitness and nutrition and relaxation and recovery. But we actually stumbled upon recovery, and what we found was members weren't just joining to use us as a relaxation vessel. They were coming in after the gym and using things like, you know, cold plunge became very quickly our most popular piece of equipment. So much so that we have to put like 3 or 4 in now as opposed to just one. And we found that the male usage was much greater than I'd ever seen before, because I'm from Spa World. So you go to a spa and it's spa days and it's girls together, and we found that there was just lots of menus in it too, probably 50-50, which I think probably most of us have never seen before. So yeah, I have to admit, the recovery ecosystem we stumbled upon that by accident, and what we've now moved to do with people like Jack, who's here, and Stu, we've moved to sort of increase that recovery offering back onto the gym floor to free up a little bit more relaxation space in the spa. So that's pretty much how that evolved.
Brilliant. And I'll stay with Steph, but when you're looking at the concept and the design, how did that directly influence the commercial success and for the overall company? Because you're looking at just one bit inside of a huge estate, a huge machine. Yes,
we never foresaw that either. We started out by, we targeted the M25 circuit. We took Royal Berkshire, which is one of our most sort of, you know, premium clubs, and we built the first spa retreat. we did not expect the massive impact that would have on all KPIs. So we realised that in building a spa retreat, we would increase our, I won't go into actual figures, but we were increasing our EBITDA by 75%. We were increasing our platinum membership, because our model was to use the spa, you join on a platinum tier, so as not to overcrowd it. And then we found everyone's joining on the platinum tier. We found all kinds of things where, within no time the board signed off another 10, and now we're up to 50 and counting. So we even went into areas where we didn't think this concept would work. Up in the north where I'm from, we thought, well, we'll give it a go there and see if it works there, it will work anywhere. And it did. So we are basically going through the estate now to wherever we can build a spa and recovery experience, a spa retreat, we build one, and we'll continue to do so. So it's been unprecedented, actually. Yeah.
Just incredible to see the speed at which you're
Absolutely.
adding as well.
Yeah, and the innovation, we've been able to innovate, and we've been able to we go back to our first project at Royal Berkshire, all the way through to your club in Rains Park, and the thing that we evolved the most probably was the spa garden. We didn't see how much of a massive impact that would have, but obviously overall wellness is a lot about outdoors, and we're introducing contrast therapy sessions and sauna rituals. So yeah, there's a great demand, massive demand, massive.
For me, it's brilliant to watch at such a scale, because if a group is smaller, it's kind of easier to move it with the trend or with the speed. But it's brilliant to watch such a big box operator move.
Yeah, we've had a lot of learnings, we've had a lot of learnings along the way, and we've got a lot wrong. And the first spa retreat I built, I didn't build it, by the way. That's really, I designed it. The property team built it. You wouldn't want me to build it. We put things like hanging pods in the ceilings, and we made, we put quite a non-commercial plunge pool, and we realised the amount of usage we got. We really had to rapidly, people at the pods were being so used that they were just breaking, and the plunge pool was always in. We had to get our, the whole system rebooted to make sure it was compatible for the 9,000 members that we ended up having.
We're queuing up to get in.
Queuing up, yeah.
Brilliant, thank you. I'm going to go on to Joie. If we're talking about Sunlighten, how do you manage to kind of delight and satisfy all these types of really detailed questions that the hyper-focused consumer is asking now? Because even if they want them for a home or if they want them within the gym, they're coming to you with a lot of questions. What are they actually asking? Do you think it's trend-driven, or do you think it's health-driven?
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen a shift, and for us as a market leader, having hyper-informed consumers is amazing. And we really welcome the consumers who are on ChatGPT or Gemini madly trying to figure out what the right products are for them. But I think they are really looking for three things, I would say. Hyper-informed consumer, and this applies to all of us, not just Sunlighten, but they really are looking for scientifically proven protocols and treatments. And at their fingertips are PubMed or summaries of clinical studies that they can just pull up at any time. Secondly, when they're looking for social proof, obviously, as we all are, does this work? Has it worked for someone else? Who's recommending it? Who with some authority is recommending it? And then, of course, they're looking at what's right for me specifically. Yes, there's I've heard about all of these things about all-cause mortality with sauna, but what type of sauna is right for me? What protocols are right for me personally? And so I think that all three things are really important for the consumer today. And so for us specifically, we're lucky enough to have Professor Michael Hamlin, who wrote the science on infrared, on our advisory board. We do have clinical studies specifically on our products, which we're able to show our clients. And our team really take a lot of time with commercial operators and with end consumers to work out, okay, what it's not just infrared, what infrared wavelength is right for you, and how should you use it, and what protocols are right for you. So Yeah, absolutely.
When I love listening to your team talk because they're so knowledgeable. You could be talking to doctors or scientists.
They're very passionate.
Yeah, they love it. They're selling something they adore, so it's not like selling. And they really understand it. And hearing them take the time to explain it and match the right information to the consumer.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a funny example. I mean, we had, for the first time a few weeks ago, we had one of our reps have a customer who was really confused between traditional and infrared and had put all of these questions through ChatGPT. And ChatGPT gave him some interesting answers because, you know, as we all know, the answers are only as good as the questions that you're putting in. And so he just forwarded us the transcript. And it was really cool. Like, we were able to take that transcript, we re-prompted ChatGPT, feeding in a bit more information about, you know, what we actually know about our product and about infrared, and it helped that dialogue between ChatGPT and us and the consumer got them to their answer. But of course, for them, they were really happy because they did feel that there was a third party who was on their side looking out for what was best for them. So I think it's good to work with it and like welcome customers when they are looking for that validation.
Yeah, absolutely. Nail on the head with someone who's asking questions is really key. They want to know. They're the ideal type of customer. I know I've heard you say many a time that not all saunas are equal. I would agree, but why is a sauna, and especially for me an infrared sauna, why is that such a non-negotiable purchase within today's kind of environment, whether that be for a home or within a facility? And I should just say that I won't book a hotel now, or even go on a cruise ship unless I've checked that there's an infrared, and then I'll even ask what type of infrared, but maybe that's just me being really fussy. But
yeah, I mean, it's all being led by what we know today. Obviously, when it comes from a heat perspective, we know that sauna use 3 times a week reduces all-cause mortality by about a staggering 50%. So I think that a while ago, cold plunge was very much on trend, and we all know that it has huge benefits for as a hormetic stressor for the body. So it's building stress resilience, which is great. Sauna seems to be a little bit more accessible for people who are new to this world because they know heat and it's a little bit more comfortable at the beginning. So, of course, from a heat perspective, it is, and for a recovery perspective with exercise, there's a lot of research to show that it is, you know, it's not really, can't be beaten. With infrared, though, you've got the addition of light therapy, and the light photobiomodulation has some incredible benefits. It's able to, once it's absorbed into your cells, it's able to kickstart like a cascade of recovery benefits in the body, and it's actually systemic. So we are getting recovery benefits, but we're also getting benefits for the cardiovascular system, for the hormone system, from reducing stress, and we're able to operate it at a lower temperature. So it can be more beneficial for certain parts of the population that are contraindicated to using a very hot sauna. Also, when people are stressed and need to recover, putting them in a very hot sauna can make matters worse. So if you've got executives who need to recover more than, and do yoga more than actually stress their bodies out, a infrared sauna is quite beneficial.
brilliant. Thank you. Michaela, when we're talking about what we say beyond the gym floor of the future in 2026, and especially because you're at the start of a development program, what does that mean to you? What do you think is going to be important for your members that will be coming in to use facilities and your members that will buy into Fulham Pier?
Can you hear me now? Perfect. I think this is really key for me because I'm not actually blessed with a gym. Across 4 floors I have a gorgeous studio space, but no pin-loaded or plate-loaded kit. So for me, I think we need to think about what performance is. I think performance has traditionally been thought on strength training, it's around endurance, it's what your physical output is. I think the high-performance consumer today, we're not just limited to what your squat PB is or how hard you're hitting that
What bike?
yeah, whatever's going on over
She'll
there.
shout what bike a few more times. They're listening. I think they're listening.
You're not limited by that. You're actually limited by what your cognitive overload is. I think that's really, really key. We are so decision fatigued at the moment. We're so chronically stimulated that I think that we are not only physically but we're mentally under-recovered. So beyond the gym floor, I think that means designing not only something that's beautiful but that's great for nervous system regulation. It's good for cognitive function and cognitive clarity. It needs to be focused on mood. It's beyond that physical part. So that's what I'm trying to do at Fulham. I'm trying to build in those contrast therapies, the infrared saunas, the cold plunges, 100%, the wet spa facilities is key. But it's how do we incorporate also natural light? I think we underpin how key natural light is. Typically, spas and gyms are 3 to 4 levels underground. There's no natural light, it's stagnant air, and I feel very blessed and very happy to be having floor-to-ceiling windows. I have an office where I can see what's going on outside, which is amazing. But I think we really undervalue that. So it's bringing in that natural light, and that really then helps to support focus, mood, and then your long-term brain resilience, essentially.
That's brilliant. So your new project's mainly going to be focusing on cognitive longevity, right? Do you think this is like a luxury trend just for a higher price point, or do you think it's people just trying to shift more to be well for longer or live for longer? What's your thoughts?
Well, I think lifespan has extended for us, but our cognitive health span isn't catching up with at the exact same rate. So us high-perform consumers, we're not just thinking about what we look like now and what our aesthetic is. I want to look like Kris Jenner at 70 years old or however old she is. She looks absolutely amazing, fantastic.
Very
whatever's
good.
going on there,
I want the number.
I'm into it. But if you're not mentally well, and if your focus and your clarity is not the same at that age, then there's a real shift there. So we're trying to then incorporate these modalities like photobiomodulation, neuromodulation, all the modulations going on, and then hydrogen inhalation, which actually is so huge in Japan. The Japanese actually inhale all of their hydrogen inhalations while they're doing their business meetings constantly for 8 hours. And I think that's really key in terms of building that brain resilience. And it's not just standalone treatments that we're doing that in. We're trying to build that into a whole ecosystem.
That's amazing. And who do you think you're going to appeal to? Who's the target, or who's the demographic? Is it an age group? Is it everything you just described as just a menopausal female that can't think? So I'm coming. But who are we targeting? Who do you think?
Everyone. I think the demographic that we have typically at Fulham Pier is a very affluent area. So typically it's at 35 and above what we're naturally seeing. However, I don't think you're ever too young to start this. So we're targeting everyone. We're a membership space, and we've built 3 membership tiers. And I think it's really important to not build a tier based on the value or the RRP. It's actually based on a pathway and what you're trying to get a member to go into. So if a member is concerned around, hot and cold therapy, community, then we'll build them into one pathway. If it is a stressed out CEO and they are concerned more around their focus, then we'll build them into another pathway. So I think it's all age groups, but we'll have something for everyone.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. When you're looking at the different examples in the different modalities that we have in businesses, I think it's very clear that it's not just a gym. So even if you only have just a gym, what are you doing within that model to make it appeal to what the consumer is looking for now? So even if you physically have that space that's set and it's your gym floor, how are you evolving that? So what are you doing within light, within access to infrared, with access to dwell time, to moving them around the building differently? And that's what the Spa Garden's done, right? It moved them to different elements of the building. getting that younger consumer to come in. I think you're spot on. It's not just older, geriatric, menopausal. It is the younger people. My kid genuinely loves sitting in an infrared sauna. He helps him with his muscles. He does taekwondo. He gets sore and achy after his personal training. And he wants to sit in there and relax and work on his breath before he goes to bed. He's 10. How cool is that? I'm sure we've all got kids. And Sarah, I've seen video images of your son doing aromatherapy, right? They'll be on the eye masks next, right?
Yeah.
We're not endorsing skincare to kids that don't need them, but definitely aromatherapy, infrared. So regardless of what your model is and who's here today, look at how you can go just beyond the traditional gym. What can you have that you can build in to think to future-proof? Instead of just maybe investing in a brand new piece of kit, what can we do that's a little bit differently? So the same goal, my same mission, to those of you who have stayed with us, I've allowed a couple of minutes for questions. So with this group and this size, I'm expecting at least 3 of you to have really good questions for us, an amazing panel. So who would like to go first? Sarah, perfect, our roving reporter. If you've got questions, well, brilliant. Come over in a second.
So my question is back to the children's side of it. So Joie, this is for you. Spas have been told that we should be targeting the children, the wellness, consumer of the future. How do you see infrared saunas as being able to do that? Can we put them into spa, and should we be encouraging family wellness to the general public?
Oh, I love this question. Your baby may have been put under an infrared lamp when they were still in hospital. So infrared is one of the safest modalities, and pets are put in infrared to heat them, horses. So yes, they can be used. Obviously, there's a time limit. So for us, we only recommend children to use infrared for 1 minute per year of age. I think depending on the temperature, that can be changed slightly, but. I think family wellness, that's an amazing way to get away from screen time, which is, I know, such a battle with families, with children, to go and enjoy something else that they can focus on. And what a habit to give a child and teach them nervous system regulation and all of these things from such a young age.
It's brilliant. I'm going to see if there's one more question. There's one over here. Hi. Can we run up there? Make sure you get your steps in today. I don't know if you can climb over that. Here we go.
Hello. Firstly, thank you. What a beautiful panel we have. As a gym provider of equipment, is there anything that we can do better to help support your visions with spas and wellness? So we spoke about the gym not being just here's your equipment and off we go. What can we do better to help understand your base and what you know? How can we tap into that?
That's an amazing question. Because there is quite a lot, I think, that gym providers can do, manufacturers, in that maybe incorporating some of the things. You see a little bit of this red light mats on Pilates beds and things like that, and I was just looking into that a few days ago, actually, thinking a little bit more of that would be really, really welcome to us, because for our membership base, for example, some of our clubs have 9,000, 10,000, 11,000 members, and a massive amount of gate swipes. There's not that much product out there that caters for that mass market all at the same time. So in order to we're sort of funneling people through single sort of usage pods, or so to get more of that. I think you guys do quite a bit of it, don't you, with the building of the room? So if we could envisage a future where there was a room with red light available with gym equipment in it, or even hyperbaric oxygen, and I'm just making this up right now, but if anyone wants to...
You're on it, you're
it would
just
just be so much easier. That's my creative street. It would be so much easier for us to get more people through per sort of hour than the bottleneck of the massive amount of members versus equipment. So I hope that makes sense. That's a great question. I'm glad.
I was just going to add that it depends on what the people want, but it can be as simple as we put red light panels on the walls within the gym floor. so that people have exercised and then just stood. It's only a 10-minute hit, which you need if you have the right optical power in the device that they need on the gym floor. And then alternatively, we do build rooms with infrared panels all around them. So there's lots of ways to integrate it.
Is there any research to say that exercising under that light would be better for performance?
There is a lot of evidence out there. There's a lot of clinical evidence about the different types of infrared light and its impact on performance. Yes, absolutely.
I think it's quite
We
a
can
lot
share
about
that if you. I'm happy to share that with you.
mitochondrial function and cell regeneration. So you get a better workout if you red light before or for recovery afterwards. And the people, our consumers are starting to learn, not even from us, from TikTok and things. They're starting to learn about this quite a lot. So that helps us along, doesn't it?
Brilliant, great question. Thank you. One more? Are you good? One more? Anyone twitching? One over here. Great. Go. I'll run with them. You're awesome. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, never spoken on a microphone before. I assume you all have visions for the future. I want to know, do you think in your lifetime, to what scale will this fitness industry be integrated into common life for people at all different levels?
Oh, I like that. At what scale will fitness be implemented into common life for regular people?
We're seeing that increase massively, and I hate to use the COVID word because we're all so over it now, especially but what we've noticed is a massive influx to our industry because people have become a lot more self-aware of their own wellness, and then following on from that is the longevity trend, which will become the next wellness. It won't just be a trend, it will continue and continue. And the main key point, I think, is that people are living longer no matter what, and the health aspect of that and living more comfortably for longer is becoming very published and very obvious to the greater market that never really used to be members anymore. So to cut a short story long, I can only imagine that this is going to penetrate more and more and more of the the global society.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because as soon as you're right, COVID was definitely a turning point for people to integrate into their daily life, and I think we're already seeing this, and we're probably halfway through this trend but where everybody has fully integrated fitness and longevity into their day-to-day life. During COVID, everything got stripped back, and people brought all of this equipment into their home. And there was so many question marks as to whether people would come back out, and they have, but they also have the option that they've done it at home before. So you can see it with the trends of alcohol sales completely dropping, loads of other indicators like that are showing us that things are very important to the consumer today, and I think that that's not going to go anywhere. I think that's going to go.
Just, I suppose, going on beyond fitness, I think if you don't have that mental stability and mental clarity, you need to have that alongside, fitness and performance. I suppose going back to the question that you had regarding gym, I think we need to stop thinking of what tech can I put in there or what equipment can I put in there to make sure that my space is leading or is trend setting. I think we need to strip it back slightly and think of what is the five senses? What am I seeing? What am I touching? What am I smelling? What's the acoustics? What texture am I using in this environment? Because that's all really helpful to be supporting someone's nervous system regulation. And if that isn't regulated, there's no balance. And then without any balance, there's no recovery. And then without recovery, there's no performance. So I think it's beyond just fitness. I think we need to really kind of get back to basics and tap into that.
That's a brilliant point, Ed, and looking at it in a much wider view. So if you're very in it right now, step back, look at something else, go around to hospitality. One of my favourite things is if I'm in a hotel, is to see if the person has designed the hotel room well, can it actually go dark? And you would be so surprised at how often you're in a hotel room and it's so bright or you can't breathe. We're not going to talk about the Moxie this year, I promise. was trauma last time. But when you look at the hotel, is it designed for someone to actually sleep well in? So when you're looking at these spaces, are they designed to relax you, or are they stressing you out just by touching a nasty fabric, or not knowing how to do the sensors, or it'd be too stressful with the buttons not connecting, or I don't know how to turn it on, so now I feel stupid, and then I'm going to get off the machine because I don't really know how to use it, or do I have to sync 5 different gadgets to understand it? We're selling all this technology on the screen, but I think 92% of people press the quick start button. That was the research that I read. So, but we're off selling all this gym equipment with all the. What's the point in that? So look at what you're doing right now and step back, and maybe go to a slightly different sector, slightly different environment, and see what you can learn from that. And that's the part that I love most about my job, working across different sectors and learning from the best in so many different markets. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to my panel, you've been absolutely amazing. And we'll be available if you have more questions. Great to see you, Sophie. Thank you.